Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the conversation. Once again, we're back with you here today to speak with our fellow Gambians to just have a simple conversation, understand where we stand on national issues, get to know each other, and hopefully make the conversation easy. Whereas when we find each other at that table where we're discussing national issues, the process will be very easy. This morning, we do have with us here a fine young man from Germany, the one and only Prince Abubacarr Aminata Sankano. Prince Sankano, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you very much, my brother Krubally, for having the time and the wisdom to invite me. I'm really honored. Looking forward to a very interesting and refreshing conversation with you.
Thank you so much, my brother. Obviously, the goal here is, I think, if anyone is involved in the movement towards democracy in our nation, and also anybody who is, in tune with Gambian politics or anything that has to do with Gambian issues, you would have heard about Prince Sankano. So that is why we decided to bring you here today to just speak to you, get to know you a little bit, and obviously understand where you stand on certain Gambian issues. Our nation at this time is at a crossroads. We're in a situation where every Gambian needs to contribute to see how we can move the Gambia forward. So, Mr. Sankano, not to waste any further time here today, if you can just take a quick moment to introduce yourself and let us know who is Prince Sankano, what part of the Gambia you're from, and where do you live right now?
Thank you very much. Usually, I'm very shy when it comes to introducing. I leave it to people to say. Actually, I'm Gambian, like most of us, like you and all. Born in Sotomasere, that is in the Jimara district in Upper River region. Spent part of my childhood in Banjul, Lancaster Street. Then migrated to Democratic Republic of Congo and also Congo Brazzaville with my parents because my father was involved in this diamond trade, so traveling all over Africa. Then came back to Gambia where I completed my primary school, secondary education, did my journalism, and then before migrating to Germany. It's a long story, but that's the summary of whom I am.
Thank you so much. You did mention that you traveled, Africa a little bit with your father, which I'm sure it's a very good experience for you. But we also understand that you said when you returned, you worked with GRTS. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What did you do with GRTS there?
Well, GRTS, I applied. That was in '96. I applied. Before working for GRTS, I worked for the Point newspaper. I was fortunate to start working as a correspondent for VOA, BBC, and also Deutsche Welle. And with that experience and skills and background, I applied officially to GRTS. And I was offered a job. I applied for a low-ranking job as an assistant producer. Then I was offered a job of a producer in the newsroom. I was involved in the newsroom, so news and current affairs. I was a producer, and I also did news presentation in English and also in Sarahulis. I was a reporter, and that was the job that I was doing until I left for Germany.
Thank you so much for that. It's great to know what some of us did, obviously, for a living, because I think it's very good for not only people to know what we do, but also for the young to understand that, my fellow Gambians are doing so and so, and maybe, expose them to certain careers and also to show them that, we can do and be whatever we want to be. Now, with that said, Prince Sankano, I understand that you're also a movie director. You did some work in the movie industry. Can you tell us a little bit about that? How involved you are with the movies?
Well, I've been involved, since I studied filmmaking in Germany, because when I came to Germany after regularizing my status, I decided to further my education. Then I studied digital film and animation. And while studying, I registered my own film production company called Afro Media Film and Television International, and which was more Pan-African. I started involving with the Nigerians and but more in trying to find ways of distributing their movies. Travel there, advise them. I realized that they have a lot of shortcomings, but try to be in the background. So that was since 2006. I've been involved in that one, and also involved in festival organization. That is Genside from Europe. That is out of Europe Africa Film Festival that we organize in Cologne every 2 years. It is the biggest and most respected film festival that we organize. in Cologne. So I'm involved in that association. So I do film production. I also do consulting and also work in background, organizing whenever there's a film project. I'm involved either in helping in the logistics or involved either in editing, in proposal as a consultant. So basically it's an all-round job, and that has been my source of living for the last years. And then after, thank God, I got advanced studies and this network is there and I'm comfortable.
Thank you so much for that. And if you could just speak up a little bit, just moving forward, I know that you just recently returned from the Gambia, and when you were there through social media, because I am one of the people that follow you on social media, I did see that you worked with the movie industry there. Can you tell us about that and the state of the movie industry and the whole entertainment industry in the Gambia? Because I understand you were wanting to do some movies there. I'm not sure if you even completed a documentary while you were there.
Yeah, it started around 2012, after I said, okay, I have traveled the world, I have the experience and connection. We are all Gambians. So I'm known because, I'm not known as somebody who is not pro-government. I'm also independent. But in Gambia, to have access, you have to be pro-government. But I realized that people are coming by fly-by-night. They're getting a lot of money to say that they're developing Gambia film industry. They are doing nothing. They just come, organize 2 things, take photos with our political leaders and go home and say we are building a film industry, while the things they're not doing anything. So I established contact with the government, that is through the National Center for Arts and Culture, which is the statutory institute body set up to regulate film industry. I established contact with them, send them a proposal on how to build a film industry. I drafted a policy framework, which that if at all the government implement, we are going to have one of the best film industries in Africa. I developed a code of ethics for film practitioners, industry practitioners, so that there can be ethics and standards. Every profession there are ethics. I developed that one. I came up with my own idea to make my movie, but I said now let's build the structure for an industry first, because making movies is easy. Flooding the market with movie. I don't want us to follow the example of Nigeria or Ghana by rushing to make film. I study their industries. They have shortcomings. We as latecomers, we have an advantage of picking the best practices to come up with our own. And I coined the name Cine Gambia as the name for our film industry. That was since 2012. The government is aware. I did my part, informed the National Center for Arts and Culture, informed the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, informed the Office of the President to ensure that, I'm interested in patriotism. It doesn't mean that I have to be a praise singer, I have to be pro APRs or anti. It's about the Gambia. It's about for young people. So, there is a lot of bureaucracy and there's a lot of bad misconception, but I did not give up. I continue from behind the scenes, supporting young talents. Registered my organization in Gambia, which is Sankanu Film Kafo. And then after 2 years of planning, initially I wanted to involve the locals in raising funds, but I realized that, if you come from abroad, you want to approach them for cooperation, they take you, this guy is just not serious or he's desperate without us. Then I managed to raise my own funds and do it, and this year I'll launch it. So we don't have a film industry per se. People are trying, but the skills are not there, the expertise are not there. Anybody can hold a camera, because some people are saying that you don't need a degree, fine. Anybody can hold a camera and shoot something, but since people don't understand, they call it film. Well, that is not the case. You have to do, there's a lot of things going on behind the scene, which will expand, will go beyond the scope of this program and time allocated.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prince Sankano, for that. Now, you're telling me that as a young man, you went outside, studied a very lucrative industry, came back, did a presentation to your government, but just because you're not pro-government, you're not getting the support that is required for you to be able to launch something that the country and the government can benefit from.
Yeah, basically that is it. That's what's happening, because within the last 2 years, people have come. They just come within 24 hours. They are granted audience to whoever, and they get any money they ask without even due diligence. Somebody will come and present a proposal to the Office of the President, and they will get 1 million, 2 million, or whatever. Go and do it, and after get ahead. No due diligence, just because he has connection, just because he's a praise singer, or just because somebody does have an interest in it. While me, the problem is I'm not used to all this corruption and bribery. German work ethics. I follow the rules and exercise patience. Unfortunately, Ibrahim Sanyang, who was there, he passed away. The director that is there at National Center for Arts and Culture is very understanding, but the government does not give priority to the arts sector. It's all about griotic praise singing sector. If you are a Nigerian filmmaker now, you learn now within 24 hours, you'll get access to Kanilai, to whoever is in the center of power. If you say that you want to do something, they'll give you a blank check. But if you are a Gambian, they start asking crazy questions, crazy like to waste your time. That's why even when I came to Gambia initially, I never wanted to meet anybody. It was the officials there who say, oh, try to meet so and so, write a letter asking for an audience. I did that, did not work. And this time around, I did my homework. I said, no, since I have a legally registered charitable organization and my intentions are all government is aware of what I want to do for our country, I can just go and do it. And thank God, this year, thank the ancestors, I just came and did it outside the Combo in Manduar. It worked well independently, so I did not ask them for money. I did not ask, I only invite the government to come. That is the National Center for Arts and Culture, because they've been supporting me. They serve there representing the taxpayers and the statutory authority to start the process. So it is going on like that, but the fact that I'm not getting support because I refuse to be a pressing or a psychopath is not something that is holding me back, because it's about the industry, it's about the future of the country. I know that, it is relevant, that the country needs the talents that are there. They need to have a platform to get promoted, to get exposed, and that's what I'm doing it for them.
Thank you so much for that. Now, you're telling me, obviously, that you didn't get the support. What does that tell you about your government, that foreigners, other foreign companies can come, and they will open, obviously, like you stated, give them a blank check, but when Gambians come in, what does that tell you about your government? Talk to the Gambian people for them to understand what type of government we have there and what your experience with them was compared to other foreign companies that come in there.
The problem with Gambia is very difficult to talk. If you talk, they say that you are bitter, because our people are not used to truth, are not used to a productive battle of ideas. I came from this liberal background, which that we can have personal differences, but when it comes to national differences, national issues, we put our personal difference aside, and that's what I believe in. And that's why, so I had no problem risking my life coming to the Gambia, because me, I know that most of these people in the center of government, I quarrel with them, I quarrel with them, I argue with them, but I tell them, look, we can have differences, but when it comes to the issue of our country, let's put our country together. But but once you have misunderstanding with somebody, automatically you are marked as anti-government, anti-establishment. Even you have something that is in the interest of the country, but they see you as a threat. And this kind of mentality is something that is disturbing us. And a government is a reflection of the people, and that is what's happening. That's why I say I'm not going to run away from it, because 2012, I tried it, approached it. I wrote a letter of cooperation to GRTS so that we can produce quality programs. They wasted my time. But there are Nigerians, there are other people who just come. They just come with a stupid, useless program. They are giving airtime. They are giving all the money and the support they need. So, at the end of the day, you complain that, Gambians abroad are not patriotic, are not contributing to the country, to the development of the country. When you come to the country to contribute your quota, they say, this guy is anti, he's not pressing, he's too ethical, he's not corrupt and all those things, he doesn't want to do it the right way. They block your time. So we have to change our attitude. So if the government really want to harness the talents, to build a structure to develop the Gambia, it has to have a broad-based approach. Personal differences, ideological differences are necessary, in a society. But when it comes to the interests of the Gambia, you have to put that one there, the skills, the talents, But as long as they continue to ignore that one and put psychophancy above, competence above ethics, we are in for a very chaotic future. There will be a lot of waste of resources, waste of talent. It's a long story.
Now, saying that obviously you went over there and you didn't get support, that's more of a generalization. Have you ever had the opportunity to have audience with Yaya Jammeh himself?
Actually, with all due respect, from the beginning, I wasn't expecting it, because I'm not expecting Yaya Jammeh to meet me. People are just asking, even the idea of an audience, to be honest, when I came, I met the Permanent Secretary Minister of Tourism and Culture in 2012. We were discussing about the industry, what is necessary. He emphasized on the need for capacity building. I said, okay, I will do my part. And that's why when I registered my organization, I have an idea of a film school to build capacity. So it was during the conversation, he said, did you try to meet anybody in government, any senior person, like, the president, vice president? I said, no, it is not in my mind, because I'm not expecting, they're not going to meet me. He said, just write them a letter. I wrote, no answer. I wrote, no answer. 2012, 2013, even my proposals, what I want to do, how to build Gambian film industry, I submitted them. The office of the president, they have a file. What Sankanu want to. This festival, they are aware of it. They are the first people. This book that I just wrote, they are aware of it. So anything I want to do, they are aware of it. They have big files on my projects for developing the Gambia film and creative sector, but they are sitting on it because it is somebody called Sankano, So it's a long story, even my organization, So it's only this year because I took the risk to go, because even if I delegate some people to do some assignment for me, they will say, oh, because your name Sankanu, if I go to this office, if they will block me, they say, so I'm not expecting them to meet me. So even if I should meet Yaya Jammeh, it's coincidence, but it's something that is not in my mind because I'm not expecting it. I wrote to him several times based on advice of people, but I realized that it doesn't make sense. I mean, whether the letters are get lost or whatever. So that's why, because I realized that, if I should emphasize on that, they think that maybe I'm desperate. Maybe without him or without them, I can't do anything. And that's why this time around I say, no, I'm Gambian. I did not break any law. I have noble intentions for our country. Let me just do my things. So meeting them today, not meeting them today, is if it happens, fine. But it's not something that actually it's number one on my agenda. As long as I can play my part to national development without let and hindrance.
But this whole system that you're talking about, that is not supportive of Gambian citizens, but very supportive of obviously foreign governments that are coming in, what does that tell you about the leadership in the country?
But it shows that, the leadership after 20 years, because I've been in Gambia after 20 years ago, the structure that has been is so entrenched. It's all about patronage. It's all about one way, patronizing only, not in the interest of the country, but in the interest of a system that is there just to exploit. The people who are there, they don't look at the interest of the country. They only look at their own interests, and that's what's happening. So Yaya Jammeh is sort of surrounded by a cabal, that is just there. They focus more on what they are going to get. If you come with a project proposal, if it is good, if it is, that you have a project proposal, it's going to help and benefit a lot of communities. But they'll first look at how much they're going to get. If they know that they're not going to get anything, they will block it. They will not know that, no, it's a community project. The community is going to benefit. Poor women and kids are going to benefit. No, they look at what they are going to benefit, what they are going to get. So there's what we call, Allah says in the Quran, facade. There's too much corruption, around the system. And that's why, because people look at only what they are going to get immediately. They don't look at what the nation is going to benefit, what the community is not going to benefit. And that's unfortunately the system we have in place. And we have a long way to go.
Now, when you say the system is corrupt, obviously we live in a nation where we have one of the wealthiest presidents on probably on the face of this earth. What does that tell you when you see the president being corrupt? Obviously, they're one of the richest in 21 years. Why would you blame the average person that's trying to survive? Why don't you think they're just an extension of the leadership, just like you mentioned?
Yeah, when I say there is a rampant corruption in Gambia, because people will say that, okay, they are seeing all these things, they are also corrupt. People are there, they are doing their things, so, everywhere there's too much corruption, they will say, okay, we are seeing these things, they are doing it. So there is corruption at every level. They'll say, okay, serve yourself. It's not happening. It's not open as we see it in Jawara era, but people are hiding it now. They will say, oh, there's no money, they are hiding. They will only blame, okay, you mentioned Jammeh, fine. But there are people whom they will say, okay, if that is happening, they will do it too in their own area. So it is more subtle right now. But it is really serious along the line. Whether somebody is a project manager, whether somebody is in charge of something, he tries to win. He'll say, these people on top are doing their things, I'll do it. The good thing is that before, there used to be a lot of denunciation. That's why often time we have, okay, somebody is giving false information to public officers, the person gets sued. But now people learn how to protect each other. So they have small corrupt group on the side. They do their things, making sure that the other party doesn't know. And that's what's happening. So of course, people see Jammeh openly because he's dominating the media. But there are people there whom they are doing even worse, but unfortunately they are outside the shadow. Because they realize that, okay, if you're going to eat, you're going to chop quietly rather than try to come openly. And that's unfortunately, that's what we have.
Thank you so much, Prince Sankano, for that. Obviously, we all know that what's happening in the nation is not right. Obviously, this last 21 years, a lot have happened, and part of the biggest problem is the corruption that you're talking about here, how the government or the system in place actually shields citizens from benefiting in that nation, but opens these doors to the foreign investors. With that said, let's just move over to the movie section for a quick second here. You mentioned about trying to set up a movie, an entertainment industry in the Gambia. We know that right now you walk into any African home, there is nothing but African movies, including my own home here, where my wife and watches this Senegalese series movies, Nigerian movies, Ghanaian movies. Why is it that we're seeing all these West African movies or all these African movies, Gambians are so into them, but we don't have any Gambian movies? Is it that we don't have good actors, or is it because of this opportunity that you're talking about? Because, I mean, if the opportunity is not there, so some movie companies would say, okay, the opportunity is not there, I'm going to go ahead and raise my money and then do my own movie and then obviously, penetrate the market that way. Do you think we have what it takes to penetrate that movie, that multi-million-dollar movie, or probably billion-dollar movie industry in the West African region or Africa as a whole?
If they listen to some of us, because some of us, we are not just holding the camera and flooding the market, we are taking our time to study. We are taking our time to study the market. I spent the last years working, and I'm an insider. I know how the Nigerians did it. I know how the Ghanaians do it. The potential is there in Gambia, but the problem is Gambia, we have to find our own way. As a small country, as a small market, I mean, we cannot compete with Nigeria and Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, because they have the economies of scale. They have the structures in place, even if not perfect. So during my film festival, there was a young Gambian who came. He was aware of what I was doing since 2012. He said, if at all the government listened to what you were doing, by now we would have gone far. Because all what is needed for us to achieve some of the things you highlight, it's all written in black and white. I spent sleepless nights writing these things. And when I was in the officer's mess, there was a senior guy who said, unfortunately, you've done all these things, but we only gathered dust in the file. So if the authorities are ready to listen to some of us in the interest of the country, I don't need the money because I'm using my own money, all those things, and I'm fine, but it's for the country, we will get there. The talent is there, the skills is there, but right now everybody is doing his own thing. I mean, when there's an opportunity that comes in film industry, some people with their friends, they do it. People making movies, but they're on the next level. The young people are not there who are making movies, they are just trying. Many films are not completed, they're not properly edited. That's why in my film festival, there are a lot of Gambians who couldn't submit their movies. They were ashamed. Some say that because of my position in the country, that I'm always speaking truth to power. But another insider told me that many films the films are incomplete, so they feel shy, to present them for a critical audience. But if they listen to some of us, the solutions are there. The solutions are there. I wrote to them, and if they listen to me, I'll advise them. This is how we do it. I don't need any booty from you guys. If you succeed, you are Gambian, I feel happy. If you have a Gambian film industry, I'll be happy. The way you say, I would like Gambian movies to be in every home, but it's not there. GRTS is not listening to some of us because I sent them a proposal on how we can do it. They did not listen to me because it is somebody called Sankanu who is always telling Yahya the truth, and that is not good, And I think the truth that I'm telling is good for Gambia, is good for the country, If they listen to some of us, I'm not bluffing. There are some people who are better than me, but from my insider knowledge, both in the professional and academic field, we can build a film industry. I mean, if the interest of the country is put first above individual, cable, and other interests.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sankano, for that. Now, I did ask you a question. If you had audience with Yajame, you said no. Obviously, you were not able to penetrate the market or able to get what you wanted because the right people didn't obviously hear you or buy into your idea. Let's assume for a second the right people that are supposed to help you set up that establishment in the Gambia are listening. Pitch to them that they do need to listen to you and what needs to be done moving forward so that the Gambia can also have a multi-billion-dollar movie industry like our neighboring countries.
Yeah, you see, it's last time when there was this land issue to the Nigerians, and then these Nigerians were trying to make noise, I caught them to size. Nigerian film industry was built by the Nigerians, not anybody else. Nobody came and gave the Nigerians the money. I remember how they started. I visited the country and I spoke to them and I know them. From behind the scene, I have a lot of contacts. They started from scratch before even their government even take notice. They were not welcome. That's why I'm not feeling bad that Jammeh and the APRC or the Gambia government is not that much supportive of me. Because then the Nigerian film started. Nobody was interested in even putting their films on cinema, on TV. Even an ordinary local area councillor was not even interested in meeting them. But today, they are in high demand because they started from scratch. And this is these mission, this idea of self-reliance is what I'm trying to inculcate on the young people, but most of them, they are too late to realize. So Gambians, we have to do it. Ghanaians, they build the film industry, but they were lucky because Kwame Nkrumah time had a policy of using culture, creative culture. He and Samora Machel of Mozambique, they invested, in building their own local film industry. So Ghana inherited a structure already. So when the digital era come, they were able to do it. I mean, some people risk their time and resources to start, and it's working. So Gambia, as long as we continue to throw the money to all these Nigerians, Ghanaians who are coming, they will come and do 2, 3 things, make noise, praise the president, talk about how nice Gambia is. But they will not be able to do it because Nigerian film industry right now is full of a lot of problems. There's a lot of chaos there. So only we can do it. And they have to listen to some of us. Some of us are blessed. We have the expertise, the experience. I stand to be corrected, but I think I'm the first Gambian to get a master's degree in digital film animation from digital film master's degree in film. Studies theory and practice from the University of Style in Scotland. If there are other people who have that qualification, fine, they can prove me wrong. So the skill is there. If I don't bring it to the development of the Gambia, Germany is already benefiting, Scotland is benefiting, other countries are benefiting, Senegal can benefit. So the human capital is there, we can do it. Those who are there, if they are listening, let them put the interests of the country first and let us work together and do something for the young people. The young people who are there, they are afraid because they're afraid to talk. They're afraid of anything. They have no idea. They know what I mean. So they have only their talents and how to rekindle, how to polish their talent so that the country can benefit, so that they can grow is missing. Throwing money on the Senegalese, Nigerian, Ghanaians, they can do it, but just for the politics for the short time. Senegalese film industry was built by the Senegalese. Last year, their government allocated $1 billion safer for them. That one came late, but there are people who pioneered it, Semben, Usman, and others. They started from zero, So their music industry is the same thing. So Gambians have to first of all embrace this concept of nationalism and self-reliance. Let's believe in each other. Let's respect one another. We can argue, we can have our personal differences, but when it comes to Gambia, let's come together and do something. It doesn't cost much. Once we come together, I've been able to build this film, organize my film festival with my own resources. But I've been able to put a team of willing, sincere people, not few people, but it was successful. Something like that. I'm not asking them to give me $1 million. The money that they give to the Nigerians and Ghanaians, they don't even need to give me that. They don't even need to give me that. I'm not interested in that.
So what are you interested in? You said you don't need money from them. What do you want from the government? Let's say they're listening to you right now. What do you want from them to help you out?
They have files since 2012 on what I want them to do for the film industry. Let them listen to those files. GRTS had my proposal. They kill it because it's somebody Sankanu. Somebody is called Sankanu, who was the one who sent us this proposal. Let's waste his time, and he's always vocal. Let them go to my files with them and read what I said. So talking about it, I'm repeating. They have the time in the offices. That's why I say I'm no longer going to write anybody with file and paper. And the other thing is that they will steal your ideas. It happened to me. There was this parastatal. I sent them a proposal on how to advance their corporate marketing strategy. They told me, oh, there's no money and we have to get approval from the office of the president. I stepped outside while I was at home. They stole my idea, gave it to their own people, made some useless, video and take it to GRTS. I was like, since then I said, I'm not going to write. So let them go into the files, where we stop. The last letter you receive from Sankanu, it is there, 2012, between 2012 and 2013 or 14. I wrote everything that they have to do in black and white, how to build our film industry and how to do certain things. If they still need fresh ideas, let them call me. They have my telephone number. Let them invite me. It's just 5 hours flight from Germany to Gambia. I can come, we talk, and we do it. If they're not, then now that I'm just coming on and out, I do it within the next 5 or 10 years. They are going to get there. But to say that they are going to discount me, I mean, I think that they should forget about it. They can put money to all the Nigerians, all the Ghanaians, or all those people in Gambia. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that I'm well established in my area. That they can't discount me. So we have to work together. As the saying goes, we are condemned by destiny as Gambians to work together. If you cannot defeat them, join them. So in that case, they have to come and listen to me. I did my part by writing to them. So it is their turn to act. That's all. Because yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Prince Sankano. Listening to you, obviously, the first thing that came to my mind is that we've got a broken system in the country, a system that is not working. Because if a system is working, you'll be able to recognize talent, you will be able to recognize the need to build an entertainment industry and obviously enjoy some of those $1 million out there or the $1 billion out there, and also sell an agenda, promote a culture. Would you agree that the current system in the Gambia is a broken system that needs to be changed?
Well, you have to understand that when Obama said that Africa needs strong institutions and not strong personalities, that is a reality, because I mean there's policy inconsistency. I mean, you have to, when you want to reach a target, you have to start somewhere. So the system is not, the foundation is weak, it's broken. I mean, like, let's take the arts and culture. The government doesn't care about arts and culture that much, as long as if it is not praise singing. If you make an album, you praise singing, you get access and all the money. But the official arts support system is not there. When the National Museum was destroyed by torrent rain, it was a private bank that paid for the renovation. The budget allocated is so meaningless, you know. So because there are no institution in place, it's about person, it's about personalities. It's no longer about institution. So the institutional capacity building is broken. It's all about person, and the personality is also not working. It's all about how much somebody is going to get today, not tomorrow, because I might be fired or I might be dead, or, you know, if I don't have something, you know, I mean, nobody in society. So we don't have a solid structure whereby, you know, we can build something, you know. So we have to change that one, you know. There's nothing is working actually the way it should be, you know, and that is the truth. You know, the only thing that is working is hypocrisy, lies, and psychophancy.
So the government is broken then, that's what you're saying, in a sense.
But if you look at it, I mean, what makes a government work? We have a government officially that is there. I mean, at least, you know, I mean, the security systems is working very well. I mean, that one is working. You go to the offices. Unfortunately, the working's weak. I mean, the morale is not there. You know, so the bureaucracy there, I mean, it's too much. There's too much chaos. You know, so we have a government in place for formality reasons, but when it comes to execution, policy implementation, we have a lot of deficit there, you know. So many things are not working. We have a lot of, you know, a lot of what they call in German called stau, which is traffic jam. Take the case of my projects, you know. I mean, they're not that the file is there, they can do something, it's just a matter of 24 hours. No, but because some people have interest or whatever, they will block it, you know. So there's too much blockage. So, and there's the pipe that should make sure that, you know, national development flows smoothly is blocked, is congested. You know, so, and when that is congested, it's just like heart attack. You know, it breaks up, and that's what's happening. And people are just indifferent. You know, people are focusing more on their daily survival. You know, and that's what I experienced. You know, so because I mean, they don't rely on anything else. People are trying to do their own things because they know that if I follow the administrative structure, as long as I don't sing, as long as I don't corrupt, I don't bribe, you know, I won't be able to achieve the daily corruption, the daily bribery. I mean, so. Yes, go ahead.
But Mr. Sankano, this is where I'm getting to. Everything that you're saying shows a broken system. But when we say broken system, there's a leadership at the helm. If you walk into my home, the home is not going well. Obviously, you look at the issue. At the end of the day, the responsibility lies on me and my wife as the leaders of the house.
Yeah.
We have a country. The country is not working. The system is not working. It's a broken system. Why are we not comfortable to call a spade and say, you know what, the leadership in the country needs new direction, it needs to change, and that the system is broken, and just call it? Because when Obama said we need institutions, in this nation and in Germany where you are, you see people, citizens, when things are not working, they go to their local government, they point out individuals that are not making the system work. When are we going to stop blaming the people and understand that is the leadership that is there that has control of the national resources, the taxes that we have, in order to develop young talents like yours that are refusing to do that and not prioritizing our tax revenues properly?
Yeah, you have to understand, you know, a government is the people. When I say it's the people, because if you come like now, you want to complain, you go to a local government and complain now. The next thing, instead of the local government taking your complaint in good faith, it file a report that, you know, you are anti-government, you fabricate lies against the system. You know, so that is the problem. What you are saying, the citizenry is not there, and the people themselves are the one denouncing one another. That's my case. I came with a project. I wrote, yes, look, we can have these two programs to build our film industry. I don't need it. We can have it, girl. You can have your own moderator. We produce it. You know, I don't need a budget. You know, no, it's because Sankanu, They write a different report to the office of the president. Sankanu is anti-government, So that's the problem. So we don't have a concept of developing citizenry because we have this Mansakunda mentality, and also the religion is also plays a role. Because if you see preachers who are saying that whatever comes from the leadership should not be challenged, even if a leader kills you or even if a leader is corrupt or abuses authority, you don't complain. So it is our culture, the mentality that people here, the Mansakunda culture, Kafo Mansa, which is king, instead of having a presidential system or elected president, people who are accountable. Instead, it is the people who are accountable to the leadership rather than the leadership being accountable to the people. So it is our culture. If we come with our liberal open-minded, we will always have a barrage of resistance from the religious. Why is it that religion is now the favorite agenda now? Because it's easy, you can keep the people under control. Because I saw a preacher saying that, even if a leader is corrupt, even if a leader abuses you, this is a challenge. That's what the Sharia says. I said, look, we are a secular country. We are a modern country. We have a modern constitution. We are not being governed by the whole of Quran. How can you say like that? We are not, So it's like that. It's the people, what they are hearing every day. The indoctrination is so strong that, the things that you are saying, cannot happen overnight. If you try, you are going to be a lone wolf, and after you'll be frustrated out. If not, we all know that the things are not the way they should be. But where do we start?
Well, I think where we can start, Sankano, here again is back to the point of this whole Islamic stuff, calling us an Islamic nation. We have been doing just fine as a secular state, like you stated, and we're moving forward. But here comes one person who is the president, decides to announce us to be an Islamic state. Blame the people for all you can, because the people couldn't do that. He went ahead and single-handedly announced us as an Islamic state. Don't you think that the problem should be directed to him directly and say, you are an irresponsible leader, you are the reason why the people are the way they are, because they're looking up to you and because you refuse to use the power that is vested into you to really make sure that the government runs properly?
You have to understand this Islamization process, this political Islam agenda did not start right now. Can you remember since the days when they were talking about plans to introduce Sharia, it was delayed. So it's an ongoing project. It's not start overnight. The fact that only religious hypocrites get access to the presidency. If you just come, you just quote verses from the Holy Quran and say, okay, follow the leader 24 hours, even if he kills you or do whatever, you get all the money and access. You have 24 hours to the media. The indoctrination continue. The Bunyan era of Islamic, enlightenment education is no longer there. It's all about indoctrination. He's already, doing what they call fait accompli, because the process has been going on for over 10 years. Anytime we go to the Gambia, like I said, there are even poles, electricity or telephone poles where, you have radio scripts. It all started in the early days of the 1994 election. When you go to the entrance of the government building, they start writing, Allah Yasimuka Minan Nas, the building of the mosque at State House. So this Islamization, this political Islamic project of making Gambia an Islamic state, it's an ongoing process. So basically, we are in the final stages. I mean, because realize that religion is the easiest way of winning. Because if you use the religious card, many people when you use God's name, people get scared. They don't challenge. So and that's one is an easy way of controlling it. So.
Yeah. But as a leader, I mean, would you say that Yahya Jammeh was irresponsible for announcing the Gambia to be an Islamic state on his part?
But you have to understand that Yahya Jammeh's plan is to be in power as long as it takes. And anything, he's a political survivor. Anything that's going to make him stay in power, he will do it. So if religion is it, so be it. It's like, the Ottoman Empire. They had a multi-confessional, a very pluralistic society afterwards the Second World War. But the last power, I mean, what happened? We remember the case of the Armenian. They started to play the religious card, and we see, but they don't think of the consequences. Saddam Hussein, when it going was tough, the first thing he wrote Bismillah on the flag of Iraq. He is no longer there, but the Iraqians are suffering. So they started. In the 1990s, Erbakan, the Turkish leader, they had a conference that talked about a new Islamic, international. Communism is dead now. We need a big Islamic, political Islam Ummah to take over from what the Egyptian Brotherhood started. It collapsed, but it's still going on. Now we have Islamists in power who was Democrats, but the adventure in Syria. So anything that's going to make them stay in power, they will do it. He wants to stay in power. If Islam is going to make him stay in power as long as it takes, fine. he will do it. So the problem is we have a long way to go to span the people awake to understand that we need a citizen system, we need institutions, we need time limit, we need reason, we need to remind Dame that he has an interest in making sure that the country remains secular pluralistic. He has an interest that there's life outside the office of the presidency. Because he controls everything now, and our religious leaders, I don't even know what to say.
But how do you remind a dictator that we have had for 21 years, killed people, raped people? How do you bring a dictator to their senses? I mean, how do we do it? Does Sankano have an answer to this whole dictatorship that's happening there, that is not providing the opportunities for people, that is imprisoning people, that is now turning us into, religious fanatics, and it's now turning us into an Islamic state that, just overnight? I mean, what needs to be done, Sankano?
Yeah, you mentioned me. Is it one of the reasons why I'm independent and moderate is to make sure that there's at least some degree of reasonable discourse. If Jammeh listens to some of us, people like me, if he listens to some of us, he's going to live a very beautiful legacy. He'll retire peaceful, dignified. I have been writing CVRs. I can't remember if I was writing, but now I withdrew. Because I realized it doesn't make sense. If Jammeh is brave enough to invite me on an audience one-on-one, no protocol, no nothing, and I'm indemnified, and I speak my mind on what I believe that he should do. If he listens to me, I'm not interested in position, in money, on contract, and I made it clear to him ever since. I'm not interested in directly. If Jammeh listens to me, he will be able to retire dignified. He will be able to leave a good legacy, because I'm not going to be psychopathy, or it is God who puts you there, stay there as long as you want, do whatever you want. I will tell him, Mr. President, you've done this. This is the positive. This is the negative. You are a human being. Now, God has blessed you. You've become president of this country for so and such a long time. Now, look at this. If you do this, because reasonable, I'll tell him this is the benefit. I'll show him the options. But he's not going to listen to some of us like this. But and that's why maybe his advice, I will tell him, don't meet Sankano, because me.
Okay, Sankano. Let's break it down. Okay, here is a platform. Tell me the good that President Yahya Jammeh has done and the bad that he has done to the nation in the last 21 years.
But I've been researching, and I'm still researching, and hopefully the book on it will come. It is obvious, we all know it. If you go to the Gambia, so the thing is, what he did good, what he did bad, the program will not be able to finish it. Yeah,
but just quickly, just walk us through. Give me 3 things that he has done good and 3 things that he has done bad.
3 things that he has done good and 3 things he has done bad.
Yes.
What I can say is that he has, so to speak, made access to higher office easier, because the number of people who became ministers, some people never dreamt of becoming ministers. They become ministers. We have a university, if it is not perfect, higher education. That is 1 or 2 good things. The road, even though it is still one can say, we can debate. He likes taking credit for everything funded by the EU. At least we have very good road network. And that one, even my first visit, I saw that one independently. Before, when you are traveling to the provinces, at least I hope that they'll continue from Basse to Fatoto and the other side, and also from Bansang to Bajakuna area. So we have very good road network. Though it's not perfect. The road security is a problem. Traffic, is a problem. That's a good thing. Road communication is good thing. But that human right is something that he's allergic to. I don't know whether he thinks that Gambians are not human beings; they have no right. So our human rights situation is a problem. But if you know that if he builds on the human rights situation, it's going to be good for him. So the human rights situation is a lot of work to be done. He doesn't want to be told that improve the human rights situation. But you have to understand that we have African Commission on Human and People. So if you have a very respectable human right situation which is improved, which is at least healthy, it's going to benefit him. So the human rights system is a problem. It's a bad. The due process, and also always relying on all these mercenaries judges. Just like in film industry, if you want to rely on the Nigerians, they will make it. Our judiciary system, we are relying on these people. They are only interested in their money. So they can even jail their own mother. So the judiciary, that's the human right aspect of it. Yeah, and yeah, unfortunately, we have no term limit. And as long as there is no term limit, a lot of damages, more damages will continue. We had term draft in the draft constitution term limit, and it's no longer there. So these are the side effects, you know. And the third, this Islamization is a danger. They don't know the consequences. Just like the Israeli ambassador is a slippery slope. They are playing with fire, you know. So which means that, you know, I mean, they will not be Saddam Hussein and others, Gaddafi who started Islam. They are not there. They will not be there within the next 50 or 60 years to experience the negative effect of the Islamization. So these are three areas. Otherwise, I mean, I think gradually, maybe he's listening, maybe he's not. Yeah, so these are some of the few things I can highlight. There are still a lot that one can compare. This is good, this is bad, this is, you know.
Definitely. Definitely. You've mentioned some serious things here, and I think all these 6 points that you've mentioned are actually, even the good ones that you said, access to higher office. Obviously, we know he hires and fires people overnight, which is I don't know if that is a success. Universities is not perfect. You know, you went to a less equipped school with less qualified teachers, but when you graduated from school, compare yourself to a graduate today. I mean, most of these people, we see them on social media, they cannot even write a full sentence. Roads, obviously, we all know 21 years. This is a much more modern world right now, interconnected. 21 years later, we're still talking about road issues in the country. Under one leadership, obviously, term limits. But with all this that you've mentioned, these are problems that needs to be fixed in the nation. If a government cannot fix it, obviously, we have to take a look at the opposition. Right now, we're in a political season. Where do you think the Gambia stands on a political route? And do you think that the political way is the solution to our problem or not?
You know, from the beginning, I made it clear to it that, you know, if you look at we have option. The political way is there. Gambians are changing. I have experiences there. But the thing is that the problem is, as long as Gambians don't see a viable alternative, they will not take that risk. Gambians are not risk takers. And that's why, you know, they can allow themselves to be abused, you know, and then they still say, oh, it is Allah, it is destiny. You know, because our people are not used to that. Maybe it has to do with the experience of the Soninke Marabu jihad, where a lot of people were killed. You know, so until unless there is a viable alternative, Gambians will not readily come out to take the risk. You know, Jammeh, he's lucky, he tries Gambians, and when he tries Gambia, oh, they are docile, they accept it, maslaha, then he does that one. But once Gambians put their feet down, he doesn't do that one. No, he is a master at survival, political survival. So with the opposition, with all those things, yes, the political route is still viable. I'm speaking from somebody who came from the Gambia, who have seen it, and this is my third trip in Gambia since 2012, and anytime I go, I experience a new situation. But one thing I know is that, you know, the good thing about all this university and all these things, people are now educated. They are not talking, they are aware. They are not talking, you know, they are keeping quiet, pretending to be pro or this thing psychopath, but talk to them individually, you know, then you will hear, you know, people are careful to whom to talk to. But if they have a viable alternative, you know, they will take the political route. There are some elected members of the APRC that I met, they will confess, oh, we don't have a democratic system. You know, they will tell, okay, if you people bring us, we'll switch, we'll cross carpet. But as long as that is not happening, they will stick to Jammeh's money, his rights, and other things, and they play it safe because it's all about survival. It's politics. I mean, you know, it's about survival and interest. You know, so those who want change need to come up with serious alternatives. You know, if they want the democratic rule, let them do the alternatives. You know, if they don't want the undemocratic rule, let them take the risk and do whatever they feel it is necessary. So.
Thank you, Prince Sankano. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you're listening to the conversation. This is Momodou Krubally having a conversation with Prince Sankano of Germany. Now, Mr. Sankano, you talked about having an alternative, a good one. Are you telling me that the current political opposition on the ground, the political parties on the ground, are not good alternatives? If they're not, what do they need to do to be good alternatives?
It's simple. I mean, the political alternative, they've tried Jammeh, they've tired. And it's the same system. You know, even if a vehicle, if it goes, you change, you take it on maintenance. You know, so the political parties that are there, and from the beginning, this has been my argument. I said, look, you don't need the existing political parties as intermediary. The good thing about the APRC is that the more they try to make life difficult, the more they try to entrench themselves, the more they create loopholes that makes it easier for them to tithe. But our political class is so focused on one thing that, they don't see that. They don't see it. If you look at it from outside, you lose hope. But no, there's still options. So the opposition parties, I wouldn't rely on them, and that's why I'm not even relying on them as an alternative. If I'm interested in political change, I will not rely on the existing political party. And that's why from the beginning, since the last election, I tell diaspora Gambians, look, you want change, you cannot remote control, you cannot delegate it to these political parties on the ground. No matter how much you try, you can't beat them and force them to do it. Even if they try it, it won't work. They try NAD, National Alliance for Democracy. We saw how it ended. They tried G6. But come up with a viable alternatives. We've traveled, we have a lot of people in the United States, in Europe, with vast political experience that we can come together with the people at home. We create alternative. It is possible. There are a lot of loopholes within the Jammeh system. I know when the securities are there, there's a crackdown, people give up, but the political system still have a lot of opportunities for democratic change.
Now, Sankano, I'm trying to understand your position here. Obviously, they need to change some things, like you mentioned. But and your argument is that they need to look from the outside, bring people in. But these people are on the ground there right now. They're fighting a dictatorship that you hit when you got there, and you were not able to sell an idea to them. Here, these people are wanting the position that they're in right now. Don't you think that they're also working towards against the same adverse effects that you dealt with earlier, and that we need to understand their position and support them more, and not look at them as not a viable alternative?
I know the opposition and I sympathize with them and I respect them and I understand that they are trying in a very hostile, very unfair system. And it is an unfair system that, if you want to win against, you can't win against an unfair system. You have to be creative. Yes, I'm not getting the support that I need from the Jammeh government or from all these people who control his ears. Is that making me stop? No, I'm doing it and I'm succeeding. If at all, definitely I have political ambitions. I know that, I will defeat Jammeh in an election. I know it. I'll be operating from the Gambia. The problem is that most of the people in the diaspora, I know I'm causing trouble again, they sit down expecting the opposition at home to do the job on their behalf. 9, go there, join the opposition parties on the ground and help them, all this fundraiser and all this talking and all those things, fine. Some people can be outside. Let there be a big strategy. But if you make one step forward, the next step behind, those who really have fresh ideas and you believe in the opposition parties, go there and join them, suffer together. Let the Gambian voters see you suffering. Let the Gambians see you that, yes, you people, because the sense of justice is there. Go there and be with them. But sitting down comfortably in Europe and say, oh, they have tried, it won't work. You have to go and join them. You believe in any of the opposition parties, go to the ground and enrich them with your fresh ideas. And that's what I'm telling their supporters, opposition supporters. Don't sit uncomfortable in Europe and America, but go to the ground and join them. They are suffering, they are trying, the system is hard on them, but go there and join them because they are in the system, they are tired, they are exhausted. But if you come with your fresh ideas, you work with them, you'll come up with something. But you cannot be sitting down in Europe and say, oh, the opposition are living in a blah, 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 blah. It won't work. You want them to unite, go there and work with them to build that common platform. A simple mail message or whatever, radio, this thing, fundraiser, fine. But go there. They need human capital. Gambia, we have, that we are having a big hemorrhage of human capital in all areas. The talented, the productive, the few who are there are trying, fine. We still have some. But anybody with a fresh idea on how to develop the country, come and support those who are there on the ground. So that's what I'm going to tell the opposition supporters to do, those with fresh ideas on how to defeat the system.
Thank you so much. I obviously respect your take to say that we need to go join them on the ground, and obviously we all know that that's something that is being worked on right now. Given that we have a dictatorship in place, people obviously need to be very tactical about it. And like you said, when you're working against someone who is using your own tax money to infiltrate you and also obviously fight you, it's always a very, very, very tough battle. Mm-hmm. We're in a political year. a lot of Gambians are calling for a united front. What is Sankano's take on the need to have a united front, one main opposition party, to go ahead and contest this coming general election? Do you think that is even an opportunity to get him out? Not even talking about the election reforms that are recently passed.
Yeah, the thing is that, if we try about reform, it won't happen. Because like I said, the system is working for those who want it there. They're not going to change it. The German system is not going to accept reform like that, without enough pressure, both domestically and internationally. But it's not just going to do the reform like that. So a united front with what objective? If the objective is to unite and bring about political change, fine. But if those who want to bring about change just to sit down there and be like Jame or be like the system, then it's not going to work. Because the fight over who's going to be the minister, who's going to be the president, who's going to be like that, the fight over position, and that's also going to cripple it. But if they say no, look, we just need to give people a change. Anybody who is qualified after the change, you take over. Fine. But the problem is those who want to midwife the change, they say, okay, we've changed it, but we also want to take lead. We want our share automatically. And that is their problem. If you say they unite, they say, okay, who's going to be the flag bearer of Unity Front? Who's going to be like that? So all these technicalities, it won't work. We just say, okay, the objective is we want to give Gambians a platform that they can vote for change. And once that happens, we have structures in place. We are all matured and responsible. And then, we go for competition. But right now, it has to be collaboration. It has to be unity. It is possible, but then they have to give up. They cannot say we are the biggest political party, opposition party. We have to always condition it, or we are the smallest political parties. We cannot be diluted. So, but they have to have a common platform. And that's the biggest challenge right now.
Thank you so much, Prince Sankano. It's always good to have a conversation with you. I know that you're someone who doesn't hold back, and you call it as it is, and thank you so much for that. I promise we'll get you out of here in another 10, 15 minutes or so. Now, back to the movie industry again. I read somewhere that you have some very strong feelings about these Nigerians coming in and getting money, land in our country. Can you shed light on that a little bit of what your beef is, why you think this is a major problem, and what are your concerns here that these people are coming in and being given all this money and all this land? Are you scared of them coming over to the Gambia and establishing themselves again and not giving Gambians the opportunity? Or is this just another movie director who obviously is not getting the opportunity and wants to just go on a fight against another industry?
You think that you are afraid of me now? The thing is that in Africa you have a lot of accidental filmmakers because of digital technology. Anybody can hold a camera and shoot and say that I'm a filmmaker. And this is what's happening in Nigeria. This is what's happening in Ghana. This is what's happening in Gambia. It's just like butcher. And just because many people can slaughter animals, many people can do butchery, doesn't mean that they can practice surgery. They don't take their time. Like I say, I know how the Nigerian film industry, and before coming to the Gambia, I've been involved in Nigerian film industry. There are a lot of Nigerian talents who are now big. I supported them. I was sponsoring them, both financially, advice-wise. So behind the scene, I was playing, and I have a project to build the capacity of the Nigerian film industry, which is a 10-year project. It's going slowly. Here in Germany, we invite Nigerian African filmmakers. So me, I'm a Pan-African player. I've been in industry long ago. My position is clear. This argument is normal. When Semben, Usman, and others who were initiating the post-colonial African scene, they said that debate is normal. Disagreement, this fight is normal. But they take it, he's afraid. No. Confrontation is missing because they used to only play saying, oh, these Nigerians are good, they are that, they are that. Nah. You have to question them and challenge them and put them according. Me, I'm not afraid of competition because I'm fine. I'm here in Germany, in Scotland. I'm connected to the Scotland African film scene. We organize, Scotland's, #1 African film festival here in Germany. So even without Gambia, even without Nigeria, me, I'm fine with the diaspora film industry. So it's not me personally. It's for the young talent, and that has been my argument. I don't care even if President Jammeh allocates, 50% of our budget to them, but it's not going to benefit Gambians because they are going to take it back to their country, because Nigerian film industry have a lot of problems. Why is it that their government allocated money, but they still have a lot of problems to fix? They did not fix their problem just because we watch their movies, they act nice, they're driving nice cars. Oh, let's bring them. Nah, it won't work that way. And they themselves, if they are sincere, they will say, okay, we build our industry on our own, based on our local peculiarities. You people should build, and we collaborate. And that's what I'm saying. When the Nigerians were flooding Ghana, the Ghanaians resisted. You know, they said, no, we have to build our capacity first, and after we cooperate with the Nigerians. It happened, yes, the Ghanaian government listened to the the Ghanaians, they built their structure, they did their homework. Now, Ghana and Nigeria, they are working, it's working. So I'm in for inter-African solidarity. I'm in for inter-African cooperation, but on a fair footing. So what I'm telling is that our government should prioritize the local talent, not just the praise singers. And after, once the local talent is strong, then it can cooperate. But they cannot cooperate with the Nigerians, because anytime Gambians cooperate with Nigerians, the Nigerians will overpower them, will overshadow them, because the Gambians don't have the support, they don't have the strength, they don't have the experience. You know, they feel intimidated. Once ever they feel the Nigerians, they are carried away. They cannot challenge the Nigerians. They cannot tell the Nigerians you are wrong. Even if the Nigerians act wrongly, because he's in Nigeria, they'll know that, oh, this director did not direct the movie correctly, or he did not pronounce the, or the script is not correct. But they feel intimidated to even question them, their creativity. You know? So those things, and that's why I'm trying to build our self-esteem, then we can cooperate. The Nigerians know that, and they know that, you know, I'm ready for cooperation. I flew there at the conference, they know me, we have a lot of behind-the-scene cooperation, they respect me. Actually, they respect me, and they're ready to cooperate with me, and they all agree to what I said. There are a lot of Nigerians who wrote me when I challenged the land allocation. They say, yes, we don't support social injustice. These people who did it are just greedy. Fine. I said, okay, the way you people were under Abacha is the same situation right now. You people have gone far, you know, but we are all one. You know, help us build a solid structure. Then after we can cooperate, then it can be a win-win. Right now, it can never be a win-win situation. Because whenever the Nigerians come, they'll talk over, the Gambian talent won't shine. We can have two people there as, you know, how do you call it, you know, as statues, figure 8, 1 or 2, 3 actors. They say, oh, these are Gambian stars promoted by the Nigerians. So nothing, but they are just there as, you know, figurehead, German con marionette, which means that as, you know, as puppets, you know. But the real structures needed to film industry, it has to come from us Gambians. And the few of us who have the skills, you know, we can come. I'm not afraid. I mean, I've been working with them for the last 10 years or so.
Thank you so much, Prince Sankano. I really hope that the battle that you're fighting is something that you will be able to win, and hopefully set up the needed movie industry for us in the Gambia. It is a tough regime to deal with. It is a tyrant in place right now. Like you said, every Gambian has the responsibility to do whatever they can to help change the status quo right now in the country. But thank you so much for coming to the conversation. I know that we will obviously get you back here again for this time around. I just wanted you to take a quick minute and just, you know, if you have anything else to say to the listeners. I know that, you know, you're somebody that when you speak, people listen to, and we will definitely be sharing this with our friends on social media and also on YouTube. So this is a great opportunity to tell us anything that you wanted to assuming that you're speaking to the Gambian audience and the international you know, body out there listening on YouTube.
Thank you very much for the opportunity again. And the only thing I would like to say is that please let us be open-minded. Let us be open-minded and always think for the future. In anything we do, let us put our community and national interests first. If you disagree with somebody, if you argue with somebody, let it be on mature level. Let us learn, you know, to put national interest above personal interest. That's what we do. And please, especially the young people who consider as role model, let's not focus on this instant success, instant gratification. You know, let's follow the slow, hard, tested route that, you know, our elders have, our ancestors started. You know, some of the good heritage that we have. Work hard, slowly. Don't fight for instant success. If you try, you do not succeed, you will make it. This film festival that I launched, I tried it in 2012. It did not work. In 2013, it did not work. You know, but this year it worked. So even if you are trying something, even if you experiences failures, backlashes, don't give up. If you are doing something which is good for humanity, which is good for your country, which is good for your community, the first failure shouldn't hold you back. And let us learn to respect each other. Let us learn to value each other. I mean, that's what's important. We are all human beings. We all have our talents, our capacities, our areas. We are all endowed with some things, you know. So please, that's why I say mutual respect, mutual understanding, patience. Be yourself. Don't rush. And Gambia it belongs to all of us. It doesn't matter whether you're Muslim, Christian, whether you are pro-government, anti-government. So no need to be shy on your political opinion. Nothing's going to happen to you that is not part of your destiny. So please, let's put Gambia above our personal differences. Let us put Gambia above tribalism, above religious sectarianism, above APRC, opposition, diaspora, struggle or non-struggle. Gambia should be our #1 priority. Gambia should be our project. Gambia should be our suffering. And Gambia should be our headache, and Gambia should be our person. And I know that people like you and some of us who are very active are all doing that. And I'm sure that if we continue, we'll encourage more people to follow our path and become role models for their respective generations and groups. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Prince Sankano. It was very good to have you on the conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Momodou Krubally speaking with Prince Sankano of Germany. I'm originally from the Jimara area in Gambia. Sotoma, you said Sotoma Sera, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
That is right in my neck of the woods. Obviously, you do go past Sotoma Sera from Banjul heading into Basse. Hopefully, one of these days, we'll get the opportunity to sit across the table and have a nice chat, Prince Sankano. We will be back again here. As always, our objective is to just have a simple conversation with ordinary Gambians, just to learn and discuss the way forward, because we all know that what is happening in our nation is not right. We are an oppressed nation led by a tyrant government, Jammeh at the helm of it, and our goal is to obviously remove him from there and give people like Prince Sankano the opportunity to be able to come into that country and build institutions that will be able to help develop our nation. Thank you so much, and good night from Los Angeles.